Eddie Hearn says he made an offer to Kell Brook to fight Conor Benn, and that it was more money than Kell Brook was paid for the Amir Khan fight. However, he says that Brook turned him down and instead demanded £10 million for a Conor Benn fight. So what's going on here? Is it simply the case that Kell Brook doesn't really want to fight on, and the only way to get him to have one more fight is to pay him some crazy amount of money? Is that what Kell Brook's saying here? Or is it actually Kell Brook giving the middle finger to Eddie Hearn and not wanting to work with him anymore? Is that what's actually going on? And I know that Kell Brook says there's no ill will between him and Hearn and what have you, but if you see this interview right here, Kell Brook seems quite loved up with Ben Shalom. He says that Ben Shalom is his promoter now. I'm not aware of them signing any kind of long-term deal. Why would they? Kell Brook is a fighter who seemingly is on the brink of retirement. But yeah, he says that Ben Shalom is his promoter. They've been talking to Danny Garcia. Apparently an offer was made to him. The Danny Garcia fight makes sense because Brook and Garcia are at similar stages of their careers. So that would be a fight I think a lot of people would be interested in and would see as competitive. But as far as the Conor Benn situation, yeah, £10 million to face Conor Benn, I don't see how that's a viable proposal by Kell Brook. Because, yeah, you can put it on pay-per-view on DAZN or whatever the case may be, but is Conor Benn big enough to justify paying Kell Brook that amount of money? Did Kell Brook do well enough in the Amir Khan fight to justify paying him that kind of money? I suspect not. So to me, I interpret this as Kell Brook basically saying, I don't want to do business with Eddie Hearn. That's my interpretation of it. And the only way he would do business is if Hearn puts up some crazy amount of money that would entice Kell Brook back. It's almost as if he's saying to Eddie Hearn, the 10 million is to make up for all the things that you didn't do for my career. Now, in defense of Hearn, people talk about the Golovkin fight and how that ruined Kell Brook and so on. But Kell Brook actually could have had a unification with, was it Jesse Vargas? I think it was Jesse Vargas. And he decided not to go through with that fight. I know there was some issues in negotiations, but the Jesse Vargas fight, I remember clearly, was just about made. But he was going to be paid a lot less money for the Vargas fight than he was offered for the Golovkin fight. So he ditched the Vargas unification and then instead moved up and faced Golovkin. So that was a choice that Kell Brook made. That wasn't something that Eddie Hearn forced him to do. Eddie Hearn had another option for him in the Vargas fight, which was a unification. I believe he had the WBO and Kell Brook had the IBF. So that is what that is. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Kell Brook supposedly demanding £10 million to face Conor Benn. Crazy money for a welterweight, particularly a guy who's nearly at the end of his career. This is no Floyd Mayweather, of course. This is no Manny Pacquiao. This is Kell Brook. And when I say no Mayweather or Pacquiao, I'm not just talking about in terms of ability. I'm talking about in terms of box office, right? Kell Brook is not in the same universe commercially as Mayweather or Pacquiao. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're tired of the biased narratives and mass censorship on mainstream platforms, and you want to be part of a community of critical thinkers who love free speech just as much as you do, then come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide variety of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&As, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got an Element group where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Unlike Discord, it has full end-to-end encryption, is decentralized, and it's 100% censorship free. You can also send voice notes as well as much larger audio and video files than you can on Discord. So come and sign up on Patreon. There's no contract, there's no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So I'll see you over there. I'm out.